Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to the Movie Mates video. I'm Matthew, joined by my wonderful co-host and best friend.
Calhoun.
Hey everyone, so basically today I'm just going to pass over to Callum to explain what movie we're going to be talking about. Pretty evident from the title and the thumbnail, but anyway, Callum, over to you, my friend.
Today we're talking about the film Scoob, the new live-action reboot of the Scooby-Doo franchise. Unfortunately, it missed its theatrical release, which was meant to be May 15th, due to the coronavirus outbreak, so it was released on video on demand. And me and Matthew have taken the opportunity to watch the film so we can speak to you about it.
Absolutely.
I was thinking, do you want to just do spoilers because it's widely available? No one needs to go out of their way to see it in the cinema.
Absolutely, mate. Full spoilers, sounds good.
We're going to be pursuing full spoilers with this, so if you haven't seen the film, I'd say click off now, watch it, and come right back.
Yeah, definitely come back, guys, please.
Desperate for the views.
But yeah, I'm just thanks to everyone who have supported us recently. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just going to hand off to Callum for his opening remarks about the film.
Right, so this is the first theatrically released Scooby-Doo film that we see using 3D animation.
Yeah.
Which these days seems to be considered the most cinematic form of animation, but it just doesn't sit right with me.
Really?
I've never liked it. Yeah, aside from the Pixar films, I think people should step away from 3D animation because it's just not for me.
Do you prefer the hand-drawn stuff then? Yeah.
Well, like even like computer generated flat 2D animation, I don't know. It has more of a wholesome, nostalgic feel for me.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I've never responded to 3D animation.
I respect that though. I respect that because like it is a very different visual style, certainly for a Scooby-Doo film. But yeah, no, I can see why. I can definitely see why you'd think that. Yeah, definitely. For me, like I think the movie's fantastic animation-wise. It is very vibrant. And one thing I guess I noticed in terms of like cinematography and stuff is like it is shot like a live action film. Like there's a lot of like shaky cam sometimes as well during the action scenes, which I noticed. I suppose that can be a little jarring, but no, that's really interesting that you're not a fan of the 3D stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that like especially the vibrancy, the colors and the shots of the film are really impressive. But I don't know, the characters just look like sort of like airbrushed Ken dolls. Like it just doesn't connect with me.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually had about Fred. Like he sounds and is animated like Ken from Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I mean, I love Zac Efron doing the voice, but
yeah,
it does just sound like Ken.
For sure, for sure. What are your thoughts on the voice acting in this film generally? Do you think they interpret the characters well?
Yeah, well, I'd say the standout for me is probably Will Forte as Shaggy. But I guess I'm probably just saying that because I think that the rest of the Mystery Inc. gang are sort of like criminally underused.
Yeah,
Like
big time.
I feel like Shaggy and Scooby are the main characters of the film, and then the rest are secondary characters.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
But in preparation for this film, I'd watched 4 seasons of Will Forte's The Last Man on Earth to get myself acquainted with his mode of acting. And he's such an impressive actor. I love him so much, and he's so charismatic. And that's just his voice. Like he's not putting on a voice for Shaggy.
Really, that's so impressive. Like that's good casting. That's good casting work.
Yeah, he's probably the first like Shaggy character who hasn't needed to do a voice. And yeah, I think that's definitely hats off to the casting people. What are your thoughts on the voices?
I think the voices are spectacular. Yeah, but the only thing I can probably criticize it for is it feels in a similar fashion to Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins. It's very Shaggy and Scooby orientated, and I think that's gonna run out soon. I think there's only so many times you can reuse that sort of, and I know they are probably the more popular characters of the 5, but for me, I would like to explore more of the relationships between Fred and Daphne and Velma and Shaggy, rather than just Shaggy and Scooby. But yeah, for me, like as you said, I think they are criminally underused in terms of Velma, Daphne, and Fred. But for me, the standout voice is actually Zac Efron. Like I think he'd be a fantastic live action Fred as well.
Oh, I fully agree with you. how do you feel about the fact that they've sort of taken away these roles from the original voice actors and have just given them to sort of A-list big name celebrities? Do you sort of think that's killing the voice actor industry?
You know what? I think in a way, definitely, yeah, because I think the more sort of like stereotypically like smaller actors, like Matthew Lillard, for example, like they are like they're like the iconic voices of these characters, and I guess they kept Frank Welker on as Scoob, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's I guess he always has to be Scoob because he's just so perfect in that role. But yeah, I do think maybe it is a disservice to those actors to sort of just leave them behind because I think they did a fantastic job throughout the animation and throughout live action as well. So it is a pity to see those voices go. But I think honestly, the voice acting in this film is pretty stellar. So
Yeah, it is pretty great, but it's just sad to see that sort of like so many actors are classically trained to be voice actors and they can do so much voice manipulation, and then you just hear celebrities doing their own voice.
yeah,
It's
it is a bit
it's kind of
jarring.
unimpressive.
Yeah, no, I 100% can relate. Definitely, mate. It's a good point. That's a good point. Um,
Uh,
Go ahead. Yeah,
do you want to launch into the film itself
let's do it, bro.
sequentially?
Let's do it.
So the film opens once again focusing on Shaggy, which does surprise me because I love Shaggy. He is probably my second favorite character after Fred. But I'm surprised that the films focus so much on him because I would have thought he was considered one of the less deep characters. You know, he doesn't have as much depth of character to explore, which I think which is why we always find them sort of like you know, taking from the well of like him just being a loner and you know him not having any friends, and then Scooby sort of being his only friend.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you mentioned that, mate, because I think the main arc of the film is like the friendship between Scooby and Shaggy, and I guess the film sort of, especially at the start, when we see like Shaggy as a kid, you do sort of feel sorry for him. You know, he's listening to podcasts about how to make friends. He's, he's like
I
that's
was
the
like,
first
how
time I've
old is
ever
this
seen
kid?
like what is it? Sorry.
I was like, how old is this kid?
Yeah, no, but no, I thought I was really interested to start off with Shaggy as well. The only I don't know, it is sort of a weird criticism, I guess, but I'm not a fan of the origin in this film of Shaggy and Scooby meet, but I don't know what it is in the lore, but I prefer the more high school origin where the five come together rather than it's Shaggy and Scooby, and then it seems like in this film, Fred, Daphne, and Velma were already friends before.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sort of, you know, it should be that they're all friends, not that they were sort of like two friendship groups that tried to merge. Like they should be united by Scooby, maybe.
Yeah, for sure, because I definitely thought that was a bit of a divide in the group, especially when you split them up like throughout the film. I just thought that was a really curious decision because the gang aren't really together until the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it was sort of like you know, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, where
Yeah.
you know you sort of separate them into two main groups. But I just don't think that really works when this is a team.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you.
I sort of really enjoyed like like the satirical, like taking the piss humor,
Yeah.
where they sort of make fun of the franchise. But I feel like it was done more respectfully than the 2002 film, where that
Mhm.
sort of seemed like a straight up parody, where this was sort of like a bit more respectful of the lore.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, bro, definitely. Like this film's very self-aware, I think. There's a lot of jokes where it makes fun of itself and it makes fun of the characters. I think there's one line in there where someone points out how Shaggy is like a stereotypical view of how a 40-year-old man imagines how a teenager would talk because he always starts the sentence with like and stuff. So I think this film is very self-aware and there is some like adult humor in there for sure as well. But yeah, like the satirical element is definitely something we can praise it for. I loved it.
Yeah. So early on, as the Scooby Doo movies love to do, they do a bit of a recreation of the opening credits. And I always appreciate that, especially seeing it in sort of a different format. But I have to say that the main theme song is ass. It's so terrible.
It's not great, is it? It's not great. I like the What's New Scooby Doo for me. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's probably one of my favorites. And Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, whilst lacking lyrics, I think has a special place in my heart.
Definitely, definitely for sure. Like this film, I suppose, like it does blend sort of the new modern aesthetic with the nostalgia for previous iterations of Scooby Doo. Like later on, and we'll mention this later on, I'm sure, but later on we see Fred tie the famous ascot, which was my favorite bit of the film.
Jesus.
Um,
Wow.
but like, and I will mention it later on, but I think this film does sort of blend that nostalgia like with the theme as well, with like the modern new reboot.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a big celeb from round these parts,
Yeah,
Simon Cowell,
Simon
and
Cowell.
I hated it beyond belief.
Do
Like
people in
I just
America know who he is? Do you think?
Yeah, because like he started obviously here, like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, but they also have X Factor over there, and they have American Idol,
Oh
which he
yeah,
also started. So like he's as big in America as he is in the UK, but I still don't think anyone gives a shit. Like it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I have no idea why he's in this film, and I heard someone say, like did the people who made this really expect like children to know who Simon Cowell is? And I don't think so. Like he must have like paid his way into this film because
yeah,
I
definitely.
also I also looked up on Wikipedia and his son's in it.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's maybe the voice of like the British child in Italy for some reason
Yeah.
who's like the fuck is going on? Like
Yeah.
I think that's his son.
Yeah, like it sort of reminded me of Elton John and Kingsman 2 in a weird way. Sort of like an unnecessary cameo. Although I think the Elton John one was done way better than this. But
Yeah, like that's at least someone I like and that was funny. This is neither of those things.
yeah, but the animation, it's so weird. It looks like Simon Cowell, but also looks nothing like him. I don't know if you got that as well. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's sort of like the most bland nothing face that they've just like pasted black hair on, and it's become Simon Cowell. Like, yeah, it's the most unrealistic looking design in the film, I think.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely.
Like that made me sick to my stomach. Uh, and then he said at one point, "Friendship won't save the day," and I just wrote, "I have a feeling it will."
Yeah, yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. Like that was quite obvious nod, and see at the end when like Dick Dastardly's face tears off and it's Simon Cowell. I was so angry. I was like, "Do not make this Simon Cowell."
I know, like I had a point on that. What
But
have I written?
yeah, like I thought it was so unnecessary to be honest. I'll just pad for a bit while you.
I just can't read my own handwriting. Like, have you found? Are you struggling to like remember how to spell and stuff?
Like I haven't actually written anything in so long. I've just been typing it on my laptop, so I'm dear knows what my handwriting is like at the minute, mate. Probably awful.
I don't know whether I've just imagined having written this. Uh, what what the hell? I did write this down.
So just while you're here, viewers, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good
Oh,
stuff.
you're gonna cut this all out, but where have I written this? This- What's wrong? What's wrong with
I'm
me?
not cutting this out. This is excellent. This is class. I love it.
I I wrote it down.
But sure, but viewers, comment your thoughts down below. Yeah, comment your
No,
thoughts on the
like
movie down below.
basically it was just that I was genuinely furious for a moment because I did, like I actually believed that for a split second. And I was
I
like,
know.
please don't do this to me.
I was good. Yeah, I was so cross, mate. I was so cross.
Like
Uh,
I'm afraid I would have broken stuff if that actually been the final answer. But does that mean that it was Dick Dastardly all along posing as Simon Cowell, or was it that he just did that as a fun little prank?
it seemed like too much of a coincidence for the gang to have met up with Simon Cowell, but also encountered Dick Dastardly impersonating Simon Cowell. So I assume it was him from the start.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but also that yeah.
What do
If it
you?
wasn't him posing for the start, then that implies that a lot of people think that Simon Cowell's a lot more famous than he is.
Yeah, like what do you think of this Dick Dastardly as a villain? 'Cause I actually think he's pretty great. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree with you because sort of people are complaining about sort of the Hanna Barbera in connectivity, but that's probably my favorite part of the film because I assume you didn't watch much Hanna-Barbera as a child, did you?
No.
No, I'd say aside from Scooby-Doo, I didn't watch many, but Dick Dastardly is a character from Wacky Races.
Okay.
So he's actually never appeared in Scooby-Doo, but they sort of brought him over as a nefarious character that would be appropriate with Scooby-Doo, which I think he totally meshes with the universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, Scooby-Doo don't really have like one. I think they've really struggled throughout their films because there's no established like you know like arch nemesis.
Hmm.
And I think that using one that was established in the Hanna-Barbera canon without having to like dig really deep into Scooby-Doo lore and like sort of expand the character, I really liked what they did with him.
Definitely, mate, definitely. I must commend his accent work as well. It is stupendous.
You say his accent work?
He,
How do you mean?
I think Dick Dastardly has a way of impersonating characters. We see him as a female police officer. He nails that role as well. But like, I know it's a kids' film, but I just want to know how he makes that happen.
I guess there could be voice modulation in his masks, but
True.
also I don't know how like putting on like a sexy police officer skin makes him thinner.
Don't know, mate. One thing I wanted to ask you: Have you ever seen 1999 Tarzan?
I have not, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah, no, he just looks like the character design looks so similar to the villain from that film.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I also thought have you seen Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah, yeah.
I think he looks like the bowler hat man.
Yeah, yeah, he does actually. He does actually.
Like he
That's
sort of
really
has like
interesting.
that sort of like creepy crawly, like
Yeah,
sort of praying mantis legs with like the big
yeah.
mustache.
I haven't actually. I forgot about that film for a second. I guess it's actually not bad. Not bad
Oh, we're definitely gonna review that because
for sure.
I think we definitely need to pad over the quarantine with Disney episodes.
Yeah, I'd love to, mate. Love to.
Once we burn through all of Pixar, we need to start the classic Disney animation.
Can't wait. Can't wait. There's a lot of them I actually haven't seen, so I'll be good to get
Oh,
stuck in.
I haven't seen 95% of them. I've been like basically of the Disney animated films, I've seen Tangled and that's it. And
Really?
there's like 80 of them or 60 of them, and I haven't
Wow.
seen any of them.
That'd be good
Have
though.
you jumped on the Disney Plus bandwagon yet?
Not yet, bro. Not yet. I might
No.
have to, for doing Pixar and Disney films. That'd be good. It'd give me an excuse to buy
Yeah, if I don't know how many screens you're allowed on Disney Plus, but if it's more than two, I'll give you the password.
it. Thanks, bro. That'd be great. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a Disney episode. That'd be good. A Pixar episode. Like, that'd be good to. I'll be so many films in there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's 18 that we haven't covered yet, so that I'd say we should split that up into about 6 episodes. So
Yeah,
that'll be quite a long running series for us.
that'd be good. That'd be good fun. That'd be good fun. One thing I wanted to sort of mention was I think the film really develops the Shaggy and Scooby friendship really well, and how like it always like baffles me how nobody wants to either adopt Scoob or he's nobody's pet already. Like he's such a lovely dog. Great Danes are usually so popular.
Yeah, he is such a cute puppy. But do you sort of think that there's a lot of developments that happen too quickly? Like it sort of feels like like this film feels so short to me, despite having like I had to watch it in two separate chunks, but it just feels so short to me. How do you how
Yeah,
do you
yeah. I
how do you
guess
feel?
because there is a time jump in it as well. I guess maybe, and also yeah, I suppose there is a lot of plot lines that are just ended really abruptly. Like there's a plot line about like Blue Falcon and his father. Like I expected the villain to be Blue Falcon's dad, to be honest.
Oh, that would have been good. Like I feel like that would have shown some depth. Maybe they're saving that sort of thing for a Blue Falcon film in himself.
Yeah, is Blue Falcon like a character they've brought over from another medium as well, or is he a pure creation for this film?
He's a character that's appeared in other Scooby Doo media. I don't actually know. I like because there's characters in the film that have their own series. Like Captain Caveman is a separate TV show. I forget what his show is called, but he's the main character of one Hanna-Barbera show. And then Dick Dastardly's from Wacky Races. And then there's a poster of Hong Kong Fooey. But I'm pretty sure Blue Falcon usually appears in Scooby-Doo media. Like
Okay.
there was one called Scooby-Doo Mask of the Blue Falcon, which is really fun, where he's sort of treated like the 1960s Batman,
Okay. I like that.
where he's sort of like a washed up hero, uh, like a washed up like TV actor. Like the Blue Falcon isn't a real hero
Okay.
in that universe. He's like a TV character,
Mm.
and then the actor has to come out of retirement and like be the hero he was acting
Well,
as.
that's really interesting. Actually, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of my favorite modern ones because I think it's from like 2014 or something. It's probably the last one that I watched and enjoyed.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, I really like what they did with Blue Falcon in this film because I watched the trailers and I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate this movie if they're treating the Blue Falcon as though he's cool, but the movie recognizes that he's like uncool and useless and he's just a douche. Like whenever he like jumps down and like dabs, like I thought that was the movie saying like this is such a cool dude. But then in the movie, I was so glad that they were like, oh for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, like I just love like they just call him Brian. Don't even call him
I
Blue
love it
Falcon.
so much.
It's like classic Brian. I love it.
Yeah, I was really glad that they didn't treat that with respect because I really thought it was going to be sort of I mean, flossing is always treated as like, oh, something a cool person does in a movie.
Yeah.
And I thought they were like hitting the dab because like I thought this was maybe like started animating like 4 years ago, and that was the first thing they animated, and they didn't realize they should cut it out.
Yeah. Like this might be the child in me, but like there's some moments that the Blue Falcon does that I actually find they were like generally quite funny. Like especially when like Shaggy goes to throw his grenades. I think they're called like the F bombs. They just like blow up in their face. So like, that was quite good.
Yeah, you do love some like murder and destruction, don't you?
Yeah, to be fair, like there is so many character falls in this that should definitely kill them. Like the policeman in the opening, he should be dead. Dick Dastardly should be dead as well, so many times over.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them establishing Scooby-Doo's origin as a criminal.
Yeah, because what do you feel? What are your opinions on like the plot line about Scooby Doo being a descendant from like ancient Greek lore?
Well, I mean, it's obviously real dumb, but like I don't know whether I like it or dislike it. I mean, like people call that a twist. Like it's not a twist. It's just a retcon. Like it doesn't really matter either way. But like what I thought it was going to turn out was that Shaggy was a descendant of Alexander the Great, and they were destined to meet, which I think is almost better than just saying, "Oh yeah, he needs his best friend to close the door." Like I think if you're gonna go like one side of it, you need to go all in.
Yeah, no, I think your idea there would be much better as well. That's not to say that this one was bad, but I thought it didn't feel like Scooby Doo for me. It felt sort of, it didn't feel like classic mystery, you know.
So someone said in the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group,
Mm-hmm.
they sort of said that this was like the MCU starting with Avengers Endgame.
That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, it might not be on that level for me in terms of like, you know, starting off like a numerous plot lines and stuff. But I thought maybe it's a weird start for a franchise. Like, do you know if they're starting a franchise with this or not?
Yeah, they're planning on launching a whole Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, but I don't know how well that's going to go down with not only the reviews but the fact that this isn't being theatrically released. I don't know how the sales are going to be. I'm thinking not good based on the reviews.
That's the thing. I actually went to see, like I thought it was released in the UK to buy, and I saw like it was like $20 to rent or something. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but I thought that was quite 16.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite pricey. Do you not think so?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because Americans are used to paying like they pay like $20 for a cinema ticket when we pay like £4. So
Really?
they're paying like four times as much.
Wow. I didn't know that, mate. That's really interesting, actually. Why is that, do you think?
I guess just I don't know, the American cinema chains are a bit more greedy.
Maybe. Like, that's really interesting. I did not know that, actually. That's really strange.
But I mean, you would think that like movie studios would put like, sort of like a blanket rate that needs to be cut. Like it doesn't seem like that should be up to like the cinema's discretion.
Yeah.
Like you would think the movie studios would decide how much a ticket to their film costs.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, mate. I definitely see where you're coming from there. For sure. For sure.
Uh, yeah, like I don't really see why Shaggy was surprised, like that they were coming after Scooby and not him when like the whole MacGuffin of the film are dog skulls.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. Like, what are your thoughts on like Shaggy getting a bit jealous of Scoob? Do you think that was out of nowhere, or what do you think?
Yeah, it didn't really seem authentic to me. I just dropped my notes. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah, I had is Shaggy unreasonable? Question mark. Uh, I said I think it was unreasonable when he's like, "Oh, Scooby, you have to choose
I
me or
know.
the Blue Falcon," and I'm like, so he has to choose like either waiting behind with you and definitely getting kidnapped, or going with Blue Falcon and maybe getting kidnapped. Like you're not giving him like a real breadth of choice.
I know.
Uh, but also it did really seem like Scooby's ego had got inflated because he was sort of like checking out his ass in the mirror, thinking like, "Oh, I'm hot shit."
Yeah, like I do think you're right, but I thought that was a bit uh you know it did certainly disenfranchise like the audience from the like Shaggy as a character. Like I don't think the Shaggy in any other film would feel like that about Scoob. But one thing I did want to say about Shaggy and Scoob is their rendition of Shallow is it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, it was fucking horrendous. Uh, I told my brother about that, and that's probably like going to be the biggest selling point for him to watch it, because obviously he's a huge Lady Gaga
Yeah.
fan.
Hmm.
No, that was horrific. Also, I didn't understand for a minute. I was like, why are they singing to Simon Cowell? And then I remembered that he's a a talent scout. But I mean, I still don't understand why anyone
Yeah.
appeals to Simon Cowell. I mean, anyone can recognize talent.
He's
Well,
sort of
why has he got famous off the back of recognizing talent?
yeah, he's sort of like the UK version of Kim Kardashian. Like he's famous for just being famous. Like he's not known for anything in particular. Like Kim
He's sort of
Kardashian's probably got
failed
more.
upward.
What is it? Sorry,
He like failed upward.
that's the thing.
He's just he's just stood around and done nothing and got famous for it.
Kim Kardashian has more probably rights to being famous than Simon Cowell does, really, because I guess he's just. I suppose there is a certain level of like expertise in his field and stuff, but he's just sort of recognizing talent, as you say. Like he's not actually the talent, is he really?
Yeah, like he organizes record deals for the singers that he finds talented. But
Hmm.
I mean, not anyone can do that. He does that because he has that pool, and like
Hmm.
he has the reach to say, no, you should give these people a record deal. But like that's sort of like a chicken and the egg scenario. Like, how did he get into that position of fame?
Yeah.
Like, surely he would have to have done that first to get the recognition that he could get the pool and the reach
Yeah.
to make them
True.
famous. So, like, I have no idea which one came first.
Yeah, yeah. Like I thought it was a very strange celebrity cameo. Like out of everyone, they decided for Simon Cowell. I thought that was really strange.
Yeah, I honestly think he probably paid his way into it.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but you know, like one thing I sort of wanted to mention and give some praise to. Well, not necessarily praise. It's just sort of a comparison. But I thought Mark Wahlberg's voice acting was actually pretty good. But it really reminded me of Ryan Reynolds.
I kind of see that. Like, I feel like they both would have played it similarly,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
sort of like being the like you know sort of like extroverted douche, and then they're the ones that are like cowering in the corner.
Mm. Yeah, like um that's the thing. Like I think Blue Falcon, like you said, like Blue Falcon was sort of what one of the characters I was a bit iffy on at the start, but I actually grew to love him. To be honest, he's probably one of my favorite characters in the film.
Yeah, I feel like I would have felt better had he not been voiced by Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, yeah. Have we actually mentioned Mark Wahlberg in the podcast, or was that on the podcast that didn't go out?
That was on the podcast that went in the bin, but like we shouldn't get into it.
No, no, no. It's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm getting so disappointed these days by like reading up about celebrities and just feeling like, oh, another one is terrible. like, have you read up on Michael Fassbender?
Oh no, no! I actually really like Michael Fassbender. Do I want to hear this? I actually really like him.
Well, he was accused of domestic abuse.
Like recently?
The accusations were dredged up in 2018 during the Time's Up movement.
Was it with Oh, is he married to like Alicia Vikander as well?
Yeah, but it wasn't. She isn't the one that made the accusation.
Okay. Wow.
I can't attest to the truthfulness of the accusations. Just investigate for yourself.
No worries, mate. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's well established in this film. Like we see a flashback to the fact that Dick Dastardly had sent his assistant Muttley through a portal to the underworld to try and get the gold. So why instead of unleashing the underworld, didn't he just send Scooby through a portal and then have him return? Because like Dick Dastardly and Muttley only grabbed like a handful of gold. They could have got that from like also having gold doesn't make you rich. Like if it's this like otherworldly kind of gold that can only be found in the underworld, like no bank's exchanging money for that.
Yeah,
it has no value.
How does he think he's gonna make the fortune when he's like a world-renowned criminal? Like, no one's gonna accept that, you know?
Yeah, I guess he could fence it, but I mean, who's buying like gold from the underworld? Like, I just don't understand what like this is so dumb to be like nitpicking from a kid's film. But like, what are his financial plans? I don't understand.
Like, he seems like a pretty creative genius with those like AI robot things that can transform into bowling balls and bowling pins, and that's it.
Yeah, but like, you know, he can create portals. Why doesn't he just like portal into literally any gold reserve?
Yeah.
Like I just don't like. And literally, I thought, okay, maybe he can't just send Scooby through because he plans on like, you know, sending a bunch of drones to get like hundreds of bars of gold. But I mean, literally, him and Muttley like run out with like 6 bars of gold in their arms.
Like, how is Muttley still alive?
Yeah, I have no idea. I guess maybe because he was in the underworld, he was already dead. Like so,
yeah.
So bringing him out of the doors just made him not dead anymore.
Interesting. One thing I did like about Dick Dastardly is, like, I actually didn't think they'd go so far to like just say Dick in a kids' film. Like they're just like, my friends call me Dick. Like I thought that was quite. It was quite on the nose, but I suppose like as a kid, I probably would have found that like I had this note like as a kid, this probably would have been like one of my favorite films ever, just because like it has so many things that a young me would have really enjoyed and stuff. But like one thing I sort of thought about the film was like it doesn't feel like a classic Scooby-Doo mystery again, and it sort of I don't know, it strays away from classic Scooby-Doo for me, you know. Even by the end, I'm not a fan of that Mystery Machine at all, the new one. I mean, I'm not a fan.
Oh no, I don't like the new Mystery Machine at all. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't feel like a mystery, but it does still feel like sort of like a fun caper. And I think if the whole mystery gang was together, it'd have a different energy. But I still really love the film.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I mean, for sure. It definitely has a lot of good stuff in there and stuff. And as I said, voice acting's pretty stellar.
So I think this is the point to talk about the pièce de résistance of the film, the ascot tightening.
Yes. I was so happy at this. I was so happy.
Now we have to wonder, is this an intentional callback to Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed?
I hope so.
I highly doubt it, but like I don't think that's, you know, a moment that's like famous in Scooby-Doo. Like I don't think you know, any of the cartoons have established, oh, in a really serious moment, Freddy loves to tighten his ascot.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just so like, but the thing that made it funny for me was like it just flies off and it's never seen again. That was heartbreaking as well because I actually thought Fred just staring at a burnt out Mystery Machine was hilarious. I thought that was like, great.
He sort of seems to have some sort of like objectophilia where he's like in love with the Mystery Machine.
Yeah. I think that's almost better than his love for traps. I actually think his love for the Mystery Machine could rival that, you know.
why have we never seen a live action or even theatrical Love of Traps?
I
Like
know
what? Like what's going on?
I know it's one of the best parts of Mystery Incorporated, and I know that sounds crazy saying that, but it honestly is, mate.
No,
Honestly.
like like Fred is by far the best part of Mystery Incorporated, but just no movie has done him like the service he deserves. Like I would say especially the Robbie Amell version just couldn't give two shits about traps. And I want to see a man obsessed. Like,
I know.
he was like, oh, I'm a football player. I like to play football. And I'm like, mate,
Oh
you're
my
meant to be like
trap.
a genius. You're meant to be a genius engineer, and we've
Yeah,
never seen that. Like
I
we've always
know.
seen sort of like the dumb jock,
Yeah,
which
like
is really what I want from Fred.
One question I wanted to ask you was, like, do you think they're trying to set up any romances in the group? Because I didn't really get that at all. Not like between any of them. Maybe Daphne and Fred a little bit, but nothing major.
Like I've never felt like it needed it. Like I really don't think a kids movie franchise needs a lot of romance. Like
Yeah.
it never felt necessary to me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I can 100% see that. Like, I'm glad they didn't go the route of, like, Mystery Incorporated in a way when there's so many like love triangles and stuff. Like, I think maybe that's where that show gets bogged down a little bit, but it does handle it well, like in respect to that. But no, I do agree with you. I do agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like just they think instead of making like complex, well-written relationships, we'll just make them in a romantic relationship, which I feel is just
Yeah,
like the easy route.
yeah, definitely, mate, definitely.
Uh, like they really didn't need to unleash the underworld to steal that amount of gold, did they? They
No,
really didn't. Like
no,
it was just embarrassing, honestly.
was yeah. There's so many easier ways he could have got a fortune as well. Like, he's clearly a genius, this guy.
Yeah.
Pity.
Did you have any thoughts on the actual events of the film?
Not really, mate, to be honest. Like, I actually thought the action and the general plot lines, although there is certain plot holes here and there, I thought it was handled really well and stuff. So, nothing further from me.
Yeah. In quick summary, like I'd just say the plot really fun but overly predictable.
Yeah.
But that didn't sort of like lessen my enjoyment of the film.
No,
You
not
know,
at
I
all, mate.
sort of just plodded along being like, yeah, I expected that to happen, but it's still fun to see it play out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, I think there's a lot of room here for a potential sequel. I'd love to see where they go with it and stuff, and especially if the endings to go by with that cliffhanger. Like, I'd like to see that explored in a future film, perhaps.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the critical consensus? It's currently on 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, and sort of all of the opinions I've heard from adults are quite negative.
Yeah, I suppose 54% is quite harsh, to be honest. I'd probably give it. Well, we'll save the ratings for later, but no, I'd probably give it a bit higher than that, to be honest. Like, I think this film did try a lot of new stuff with the characters and tried to refresh them. So, I'd give it a positive score for me. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just don't really see like it seems like a really inoffensive film to me. I just don't really see how you can have an issue with it. I get sort of like I get how some people would be bored with it. Like I wasn't, but I see how people would be bored
Yeah.
or uninterested. But I don't really see people actually having a negative reaction to it. Like it seems too inoffensive to get that sort of like negative rise out of someone.
Yeah, like there was nothing like offensive about it or aggravating at all, really, that I can point out to get that negative reaction. So I thought that was definitely a curious reception for it.
Yeah. Personally, I would have loved to see this film in the cinema. Like I was disappointed that I had to watch it on my phone. I would have loved to have seen it on the big screen.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it would have been a certain visual spectacle as well because it was very vibrant and stuff. So I'd love to see what it looked like in the big screen.
I guess we'll never get that chance.
Never get that. Yeah,
I
I know.
miss cinema so much.
I had a dream that you and I were in the cinema the other night. Last night, actually, it was weird. It was.
You were just desperate to go back.
I was that, but everyone was talking, so like we were getting really angry.
Oh wow, classic.
Classic.
I mean, I've never been more disappointed in my life that the only two films I saw in the cinema this year were Birds of Prey and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Me too. Yeah, it's not. Oh god, it's not exactly the pinnacle of filmmaking. Although to be fair, I do quite enjoy those two films. But yeah, they're no.
Yeah, they were both flawed but fun. But
Yeah.
people are sort of like, what is going to get nominated for Oscars this year?
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of anything that was like really critically acclaimed. The Lighthouse, was that last year? Yeah.
That was last year.
Jeez, I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be an Oscars?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I know upcoming there's Tenet by Christopher Nolan, and there's like Wonder Woman 84, but they don't usually nominate superhero films.
Yeah.
And then there's the one called The Future War with Chris Pratt coming out in December. That's probably gonna be shit like that. I think that's probably just gonna be an Edge of Tomorrow ripoff.
Hey, speaking of Edge of Tomorrow, we have a time-lapse episode coming out soon.
I dropped something. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes, check out our time-lapse episode coming soon. And by soon, I mean very soon.
Very soon. But, did you want to head on into ratings, bud?
Yes. So, as I said, I would say flawed but fun. A bit predictable, but overall a fun ride. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of massive hit or piece of shit, we'd have to go for massive hit, right?
Oh, as a new release, yes. To fall back on our world famous formula, I would say massive hit.
World famous formula. Massive hit, yeah, massive hit. I'd give it I'd give it an 8. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to wrap up the episode then? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No worries. Thanks everyone for watching this episode, listening. We really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and leave your thoughts down below about the film. And yeah, hope you guys are all safe and well. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and see you later.
Bye-bye.